Good morning, folks. Happy Wednesday. Let us check to see, make sure we're live. There we go. Good day, Pac-Man. And Twitch. Of course, Twitch isn't saying it's live yet. That figures. There we go. Hi, Captain. Ale. Neo. Peerlock. Jade. Mayday. Blade. What's going on, Blade? I don't think I've seen you before here. Maybe I have. I'm not sure. But welcome. Yo, Quad. So, I haven't gotten a bait out for you guys yet, and I'm sorry about that. I just kind of wanted to make sure things were, solid before we did that. I have the background updates solid. I believe. I'm worried about those a little bit because if that messes up and I get anything wrong, then it's going to be like nobody's going to be able to update, and it's a nightmare to fix. So hopefully I didn't screw any of that up, but that's done. I got that done. And then yesterday I was working on the duplicate image prevention, but there's a lot of stuff I had to do on the games database and the background, the backend data to get that going. So I finally have the database website all ready to go with that. So the remainder is to simply get LaunchBox to actually use that data and not download the duplicates. So that's where we're at. That's what we're going to be working on. Morning, Retro. Morning, Sid. Neil. Wade. So how are you guys doing today? What is new? Hey, Scott. Getting things done. Hey, Keltoy. Charco. Wade, will the duplicate images already downloaded be found and purged, or will only those being downloaded going forward be found and not downloaded? Well, step one, Wade, is to make sure no more are downloaded in the future, but I do plan to add a tool to purge duplicate images. So yeah, we will definitely do that. Leftover Arby's for breakfast. Not bad. Nothing wrong with a little Arby's roast beef. Hey, Neil. Pac-Man, honestly, I haven't yet, although I need to do that. I have seen, I know that there's a little bit of a delay there with the platform category still, and the reason for that, it has to do with the playlists. I think the more playlists you have, the more the delay is. Of course, it's CPU intensive, but I think it's the playlist that's causing that problem. Been up at 9:30. Well, this is what are you? I guess you're on a different time zone than here, because of course I start at 9:30 on the streams. But you must be in a different time zone, so it's a lot later for you. ROM hacks often have the same image as the original game. Basically, no, it's not gonna do anything for that, Caleb. Ultimately, we're trying to remove duplicate images that are there for the same game. So if you have if one game uses the same image, then we're not going to do anything about that. I mean, if two games use the same single image, they'll still be duplicates across for that. As if ever a thing actually exists. I'm with you there. I love Arby's. Arby's is my favorite. Hey, Steve. Hey, Neil. 12:30. Sure. So you're on the East Coast then, I guess. Well, let's start off with a prayer and then dive into the code. I guess first off, any prayer requests before we pray? I gotta ask. $5:30. It's a good time then for you, isn't it, Neil? Makes sense. Work is over and all that stuff. I don't know where you work or any of that, but perfect time. Hey all, baby. Hey baby. Just home from work. Cool. All right, guys. Well, let's pray and then get started in the code here. Lord, thank you for another awesome day, another opportunity to work on this project, do what we love doing. Thank you for this community and thank you for everybody here. I pray that you would help us all to have a great day. Bless our conversations, keep us civil and supportive of everybody in the group. And help me be productive. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So, we have now on game image, every single image in the data has this CRC32 field coming from the games database. The first thing I need to do, though, is I need to make sure I updated the metadata that's included with LaunchBox so that it has the CRC information. So we need to make sure that is extracted properly when people update. So I got to find that. And I think the best thing to search for that, in the metadata folder, we have this sync 78, which specifies that for version 7.8 it was updated. If that's not there, it will overwrite your metadata files. I need to basically change that and add a new one for 7.10, which is the version that we're working on right now. So ultimately, we got to look for sync 78. And this is in the libraries class. This is basically where it extracts the libraries. We're checking to see if the folder name is metadata. And if the file exists, then we're going to overwrite it. Oh wait, if the file doesn't exist, then we're going to overwrite it. So all I got to do is change this to sync 80. No, it's not 80. It's 710. And then there should be at least one more here. Under program, this is where we write the file. So change this to 710. This file signifies that updated metadata was downloaded from LaunchBox Games database for version 7.10 plus. Please do not remove this file. And I think that's all of it. Nope, it's not. This is under, oh, this is the big box one. So 710 for version 7.10 plus. All right. We're all done. So now that will ensure that on startup everybody has metadata that includes the CRC32 checks, the checksums for all the images. Catch up on some comments here. Pray that someone buys you a game. When will 8.0 come out? I don't know. You know, historically, we've been obviously rushing versions for so long. Like, what I mean by rushing versions is the version numbers are going up like crazy. Now, obviously, we're adding a ton of new features all the time, which sort of makes sense. But if I'm not careful, we're going to get up to like version 15. And it just, I don't know, it loses its charm when you get too high up in the numbers. So I'm just thinking I'm going to slow down a little bit, and we'll use the secondary numbers a little bit longer. So hey, Freddie. Yeah, we'll do big stuff for 8.0. That's the, you know, the approach we've taken. We haven't put out a major release without adding some pretty big stuff. And I have no idea like what the big features are that we'll put in 8.0, but whatever. I don't think there's any real reason to go to 8.0 yet. So we'll stick with 7.10. Firefox style versioning. Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, we could do that whole cache thing, Neil. Although I don't think it's important because it's the only time we're gonna actually do this is when you download images, and it's only ever a few images at a time. Well, I mean, if you download everything for your entire collection, I don't know. We'll see. The thing is, what I'm thinking is the amount of CPU time it takes to do that calculation is going to be so minimal compared to the download time that I just don't think that'll be necessary. And I'd rather not put a bunch of extra files on the user's machine. Especially, nobody wants a bunch of ugly cache files in with the images, especially. So I definitely wouldn't want to do that. I think what happened was there was a point release at Christmas that required stable releases to fix bugs, so the numbers jumped a bit. Yeah, they did. Yep. Although, I mean, that's not different than historically what's happened. We have, like, in the later releases, we've done a lot better job of making sure that the official releases are more stable, and so, you know, the last few months, it's been nothing but stable releases, so that's great. Although, you know, you can't win every time, so who knows. Game matchmaking. There you go. Retro achievement support. Sure. One file with all the data in it if you cache the CRC. Sure. And I still don't think caching the CRC is going to be necessary. But if it is, I mean, it's easy to add that in later. If it really introduces performance issues. But I don't think it will, honestly. Do we truly not understand why I need the insert coin voice command? Hey Alex, I don't know if you would know how to fix this, but I disabled beta versions when 7.0 was released, but I re-enabled it recently and it won't update to the beta versions of 7.0. I don't. Well, we're way past 7.0 now, Alex. So, uh, yeah, the beta versions of 7.0 are not going to be accessible to you. If you're trying to get the beta versions of 7.0, that's not going to work because it's going to try and update to the official latest release. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to get that stuff. And that's on purpose. We don't want anybody using betas that came out before the last official release. PDF viewer, sure. That is on the list. I can't remember where it is on the list. Did it get votes? I'll have to check on that. Hopefully we can get that in there though, because that's been a major. That's been put off so many times. What is the? Let's see. Yeah, the PDF reader is in there. That's actually almost 2/3 of the way up the list, so we'll definitely be doing that. And that is a major one. That's going to take some time, but that's okay. We got time. We'll get it done. All right. Back to duplicate image checking here. We added the logic to make sure that the metadata is updated. The next thing we need to do is actually not download images if the CRC is already in the user's collection. So that's what we got to figure out. And I have a feeling we're going to have to touch a bunch of different spots to make that happen, unfortunately. So let's figure that out here. We have a class called Image Downloader. This is all going to be in desktop. I need to come up with a way to search and find every spot where an image is downloaded so that it's easier to manage it all. And I think it's all happening in the working control and then the image downloader. I don't know that we have any other places where we download images, but I kind of want to check that. Really, we actually have quite a bit of logic that's going to change too, because the current logic basically won't download any new images. Depending on the selection you choose in the wizard, it won't download any new images for image types that already have images, basically, and it's overly simple. So we're going to need to change that logic as well. I'm looking for. I know we have image downloader, so let's start there. Image downloader .run. This is just one spot where we download images. But we're feeding this image URLs already, and we need to do something before we get there. So it's where we populate the image URLs to download that we need to do it. So we got image URLs.add, which is a dictionary, and so basically we have the URL followed by the image type. Oh, you're on 7.9 now. Sure. That is the latest release, Alex. So that's why. There hasn't been any betas out for 7.9 yet. I've been a little bit slow going, of course. I mean, I've been developing, but I haven't put any betas out yet. So that's why. But PDF viewing required to get a special license from Adobe to distribute that feature in LaunchBox. Not at all. PDFs are open enough to there's open source PDF viewers basically. There's nothing wrong with using the PDF format. The PDF format is open enough to use in an open source solution. Hey Steven. Anybody have the link to the survey results? I do. Let's see. Basically, just use the survey link and then all right. So we got our wherever we populate image URLs. And then, okay, this is EMU movies. New list of EMU movies search result. This is just, of course, this is just one example. I'm trying to figure out right now is what is something I can search for in the code to make sure I find all the cases where we download images. And I'm not sure that's going to be easy here. Obviously, we have image downloader.run, but that's not the only spot where we do this. But I know we have PDF viewer is not in the lead. Not sure what you mean by that, Keltoy. Hey, Camel. Sure, well, I'm glad you're here, Camel. All right, so we have working control that download emu movies that we need to update. Basically, I need to find all instances of this for a start, although that's not it, I don't think. There's two references to this. This is the download emu movies one, and then we have this one, which is, there's two download emu movies methods apparently. All right. Then download metadata and images. Image downloader.run. How did I miss that one? Oh, there's more than one. There's more than one image downloader.run method. Image types to download. And this one actually feeds in the game. Sure. So that's the method we need to change up, which is image downloader.run. We need to work on that. Populate downloads. This looks like the download class. Sure. All right, so there's that. How many more references? I don't think it matters though, because that's all happening within the download. Sure. Get Emu Movies downloads. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm not sure I found everything, but we will move forward. What about imports, though? I need to check on imports. Run ROM import task. The background worker is the ROM import background worker. So we need to go ROM import background worker do work. Getting movies downloads. Get game. I see. So that get game method is what's actually downloading all the things, I think. We have the Emu Movies downloads. Image downloader.run. And so that's what downloads all the local images. And what about the Emu Movies images? We have Emu Movies downloads. Download Emu Movies. Okay. So that's that same method. So I think actually we found all the spots. I hope. We catch up on comments and we'll dive into the code here. Hey M, would love to see a find and replace function on LaunchBox so I don't have to mess around in the XMLs. That makes sense. Yeah, that has come up a few times. Although, yeah, I can see that being pretty valuable actually. Although it's kind of risky, but you know. Yeah, thank you, Retro. You know, my son is 8 now, but his favorite character of all time, his favorite show, game, everything is Sonic. I mean, and he Sonic is his. It's an obsession for him. It's ridiculous. He just loves Sonic everything. It's basically because he loves the concept of going really, really fast. I think that's the biggest motivation. Yeah, the database is in the lead. Yep. And I've already, like I said, I've already been working on the database in order to get this image duplication thing stuff going. But there's certainly more that we're planning to do there. A lot. My frantic typing. Yeah, this will help free up a lot of space, I expect. So that'll be good. Hey, Stillus. Hey, Double O. Comatose Gaming. That's awesome. I know I've seen you before. I like that name. Hey guys, anyone here have any experience with Android Studio? I have some experience with Android Studio, yes, although not very much, and it's been too long, so I'm not going to be able to help out much. I don't even know what that means. Parse backend server. Hey Matt. Yeah, Neil K. That makes sense for find and replace. It would be pretty advanced. Heathens. Jade. Notepad++ is also programmed to do mass changes in XMLs. Yep. Oh, here we go. Keltoy starting a war. Take it easy, that man. Acid. Make it easier to transfer LaunchBox installations to a different computer. I don't know how it would, but that should already be like as easy as possible. Assuming you structure LaunchBox the way we recommend, where you put everything inside the LaunchBox folder, then you can literally just pick it up and move it anywhere and it'll just work. Other than the issue of needing DirectX and .NET. If you don't have DirectX and .NET, then you're going to have to install that. But other than that, it's just a matter of picking up the folder and moving it somewhere. So no, I don't know how this would help with that at all. Alternative name section when scraping titles, yes, that is planned for the game's database improvements. That's one of the top things on that list. So yes. There are some advertising. Not quite following you, Wade. Honestly, I don't get it. Yeah, using Dropbox specifically, Google Drive works, but man, Google Drive honestly it sucks. It's too glitchy. But Dropbox, oh, Google Drive is good for some things, but a bunch of little tiny files like you deal with LaunchBox, it just kind of sucks with the sync. It I haven't used it in a while, but it crashes very, very easily, and it's not a good solution, honestly. But Dropbox works amazing. Um, so let's get back into the code. We got to find one of these and just get it done. And let's start with the image downloader. We have not this method, because this method already has the image URLs. This method right here actually populates the images. So we have to populate the images and figure out. We have populate downloads. There's only one reference to it, and it's in this method here, which I expect. Populate downloads. Image types to download. image types to download. And we have our list of downloads. I'm going to change this to a list because of that possible multiple enumeration thing. That's fine. Finite collection of string, that works. All right. New Steam banner. So basically we have a Steam ID. We get the URL. So the Steam thing, that's another one that I'm not going to be able to do anything about because I don't think there's any way for me to get the CRC for the Steam one. That sucks. Didn't think about that. Well, that's only the Steam banner. I wonder... Is this only for new games? I mean, it doesn't seem to be doing anything to... localDB.get images. It's not checking for any duplicates, so I assume this must be only happening for new games, I guess. But the thing is, for new games, it still shouldn't be downloading duplicate images. So where are we preventing duplicates? Huh. There's 6 references to that method. All in the working control. And it's actually happening from download metadata and images too. So something is screwy here. What am I missing? Populate downloads. There's certainly no duplicate prevention going on there. I'm lost here. I don't get it. Oh, I know what's going on. Right now we're using image types to download to determine... Oh crap, that's going to have to change, obviously. Alright, so... Here we are in download metadata and images, and basically image types to download is under task.imagetypes to... It's okay, so where, I see. There's no images, I get it. So that's got to change, clearly. That's one thing that's got to change. Another thing that's got to change is then we got to, of course, look at what exists and what doesn't. Alright, well that's a good step in the right direction. Let me get back to the comments here and catch up on that. feel like I'm lost here on some of these comments. So, Blade, at some point you have thought of hiding the load of the emulators with some method like Rocket Launcher. I assume you mean. I assume that's you're asking a question, whether we've thought of that before. And again, yes, that we have thought about that, of course. But we're gonna let Rocket Launcher handle that for now. If that's something you want, we're not gonna add any of those types of features anytime soon, because it's a nightmare. I think that came out last stream too. Hotkey to quickly favorite a game in big box. You have to always go to into the game details screen. Um, if it's not listed, I don't remember honestly, Steve. I'm not sure if there's a hotkey for that or not. I don't think there is. But basically, if you're wondering whether there's a hotkey or not, just go into the keyboard mapping options, and if it's not there, then there isn't. The keyboard mapping options is what shows you where all the hotkeys are. It'll be exciting to see what changes go into the database. Yes, absolutely. And honestly, we need to have a forum thread to discuss that and see what the most important stuff. And there's been a ton of stuff on that recently, but I think we just need to clean up the experience as much as possible here first. Oh, that sucks, Jade. Stupid. If you import a game into Steam as a non-Steam game, does it still pull image data for it as well? If you import a game into Steam, you mean in Steam itself? If you import a game into Steam itself and do an import for LaunchBox, then LaunchBox won't find that game for the Steam import. Thank you, Neil. I appreciate that. I will be going through that Bitbucket database for the features as well. That's a good point. How many ROMs and platforms do you use to test stability on new builds? Honestly, it's not ROMs and platforms that I need in order to test stability. It's features. So you test stability by messing with features more than ROMs and platforms. Although I do have a sizable collection. I don't know exactly what it is. Something like 10K maybe. It fluctuates though. That's funny, pizza. Within big box, marker game is completed. Yeah, that's one of those things that we should have added a long time ago. All right, back to the code here though. So basically, there's two things we need to do for this particular method. One is we've got to change this method to filter to only the stuff that doesn't already exist via the CRC. Secondly, all references to this. So really, I should do this first. All references to this method need to be changed to feed in all the selected image types to download, whether or not they have been what is it? Whether or not they've been selected, or whether or not an image already exists. Okay. So we go through these references. Task.image types to download. Download metadata and images. We go down. Task.image types to download. If task.download mode equals download mode.replace, then we're deleting images, which is just stupid. This is what needs to change right here. Replace, although we have an option to replace all the images. There's three options when you run the wizard. This is like a logic mind sync. When you run the wizard, you got three options. The first option is to, let's take a look at that. Download metadata wizard form. And we want the default English language. Okay, yes, download and replace all existing metadata and media. But why would you want to do that? Why would you want to replace all media? I don't know. Yes, but do not replace any existing fields or media. This is the common thing that people are going to want to choose. No, do not update games with existing metadata. You know, I'm thinking this is going to be, when we get this implemented, it feels like, all right, I need you guys' opinion on this. It feels like once we do this correctly, this whole thing is pointless. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because people need the option to either overwrite their metadata fields or keep all their fields. So they customize their fields, they need that option. All right, so let's think through this. Yes, download and replace all existing metadata and media. That is basically going to delete all images and re-download everything, which I'm tempted to get rid of because it's a waste of bandwidth, honestly. Although I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to get rid of it because I'll make people angry if I get rid of it. And then, yes, but do not replace any existing fields or media. But only for empty fields or missing media. The one thing we probably should do is put this one on top, because this is the one that should be used almost all the time. No, do not update games with existing metadata. Sure. Download metadata media only for games without any existing metadata attached. So I'm not going to change these, at least for now. We'll leave those the same. The top situation. Actually, we need the working control here. The top situation where we say replace, we're going through and basically deleting all images, which is correct. That's fine. That's not going to change. The second scenario, we're basically filtering the images to only stuff where there are no existing images, and we need to stop doing that. So that all the image types are fed over. Now, in the case of the situation where we already had, or where they said, it said no, don't download any images or metadata if the metadata already exists, which is honestly a silly situation, and that shouldn't even be an option. I mean, like, why would you ever do that? I don't know. So, I mean, this could be tweaked yet. This is pretty much pointless. The only reason for these is the question of whether you want to replace your existing metadata fields or not. That's what So honestly, I feel like I should tweak this, but I don't know. Let's catch up on some comments. Maybe somebody's got something to say on that. You guys are going to town here. Camel. Steam banner out there for big box? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe there is. That's more than all of my cars combined. Hey, Ali. Never spent more than $1,000 on a car. A few of them drove for 6, 7 years. I tell you what, cars are huge, ridiculous money sinks, and they're a huge waste of money. That's why we only have one car, because it's just not worth. And you never buy a new car; you always buy used cars. That's just the smart thing to do. It's never worth buying a new car, ever. And I hate buying cars because they're such a. I mean, they're so useful, they're so important, but man, they're such a money sink, and the money just appears like that. They're not good investments at all. Neil. Manhood, there's a way to filter the Steam imported. So basically, status or source. I think status and source are both set to Steam or similar. So you can filter those easily and change the platform easily. Um, Steam isn't a platform, uh, really. So that's why it shows up on Windows, although I know that's confusing. Ideally, we would add a property to the import to let you specify what platform to make them, but obviously that's not on the table right now. Metadata should always be overwritten. I think that's a little bit too inflexible. We can't always. I mean, if you put custom metadata yourself in there, we don't want to always overwrite it. Overwrite everything. Make sure you get the best new stuff. That makes sense. I only use the middle one. Yeah, and the thing is, the middle one is obviously the going to be the most common. I'm tempted to simplify this and get rid of some stuff because this is like absolutely pointless. Why would you do that? What's the point? Why would you bother with it? Um, Obviously this guy and this guy is important, but what I'm thinking is there's with the images shouldn't be part of this really at all. Well, but yes, they should because here's the one thing where it does matter is if you so say you want to get upgraded images for the games in your collection. Okay, and there's better images on the games database now, so you want to get your upgraded images. Well, say somebody deletes a crappy image and replaces it with a better image, it's going to have a different CRC, and the only way for you to download that without the duplicate of the old crappy image is going to be to replace all existing metadata and media. So basically, this is valid, even though everybody always uses the second option for the most part. Not everybody does, though. I mean, ideally, we would have separate options for both metadata and images, but I'm not gonna go through all that effort right now. So, the one thing that really doesn't make any sense at all is this one. So, I mean, I could remove that to make this a little bit clearer. Basically, that's useless. Put a warning when you choose the re-download everything option. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, Neil, thank you. You're saying what I just figured out in my head. Put a recommended in there for best option. Middle option still re-downloads a ton of dupes for me though. Yeah, well that's basically what we're doing. We're fixing that, Camel. That's the whole point here. We're fixing that middle option to be actually proper and work properly. Re-downloading and overwriting images you already have doesn't make much sense. The only situation where it does make sense is if you want to delete everything you have and to make sure you get the latest. Yeah. Hey Beard, that's exactly what we're working on. My computer costs more than my car. That's funny. There's no way to do it differently between metadata and images. No, Camel. Which, I mean, we can do that. We can change that up later maybe, but I'm not going to do that right now in the middle of all this. Backups, Omen. You got to have backups. Although, yes, this won't harm that stuff. Unless, of course, you use the top option. That's what would delete everything. Although, again, you got to have backups of all your stuff. Hey, Vissy. The third option has a valid use. What is the valid use? So like this. I want to add media to games which have none but don't want to bloat out anything else. Sure. I guess that makes sense, Beard. Yeah, that's probably why we originally added it. And again, if we delete it, we're going to have complaints. So I'll just leave it in there. Why would we put date codes on the images, Camel? To track, I sort of get it. Although, yeah, we're not going to do that right now. Man, I don't even want to look at Call of Duty. I hate that whole game series. And it's so the reason why it's I don't typically hate games just because I don't like them. That's not me, but the reason why I have a particular hatred for the Call of Duty series is because everybody and their mother wants to play Call of Duty, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I never want to play Call of Duty. Because if I want to play a shooter, I want to play fantasy or something cool. I don't want to play realism. It's not my thing. Ross, I use an iPack with my setup. Is there any way to assign two different keyboard keys to the same function? Not really. Not without doing some, um, some using some kind of tool outside of LaunchBox and Big Box. Get us up. Hit the forums up though, Ross. I bet somebody's worked through that already. Now I understand why you said this new feature would not be easy to implement. I stand corrected. No worries, Pac-Man. Jade. It is cheaper than your chair. That is true. Yeah, and one of the things that is still planned for the database is to add a batch upload feature. So if somebody has, well, and basically it would have to be a trusted feature. So I can't just enable everybody to batch upload because then we'd have a crappy database. But I need the ability, at least myself, I need the ability to take somebody's collection of images and batch upload their entire set. And so we are going to do something like that as part of that setup. The improvements, whatever. Give me Doom 2016 any day. Absolutely. I love that game. But of course, I'm a huge id Software fan. We go way back, me and id Software. Get Doom. It's worth it. Auto hotkey. Yeah, that works, Ross. Call of Duty. That's straight out of Wreck-It Ralph, the hero's duty or whatever. They were making fun of Call of Duty. Rant over. Awesome, Poke Boy. Well, thank you. Yeah, that is coming. That is coming. Although, don't hold off. Get your stuff uploaded, please. Because the thing is, the problem with the batch uploads is we have to trust the person who's doing it. We got to trust their media, and so I haven't figured out how we're going to do that. All right. So we're not going to end up changing any of this. We're going to leave this alone. Time to get back into the code here. And we are going to... So basically I'm on the right track, ultimately. All these image downloader.run things, we're going to go back. We got 6 references to this. Starting here, we got rid of the case where we restrict the image types. We're not going to be doing that anymore because that doesn't make sense. Where basically it shouldn't get down here and run image downloader.run unless for the bottom case where you're not going to download anything, it shouldn't even get there. So we don't have to worry about that case. We just have to worry about the top 2. So first off, we have task.download mode equals download mode.replace. And we have bool replace being fed in already, so that's taken care of. Yeah, so we have everything we need then. We just have to basically feed out that one case where we're restricting the image types. We don't want to do that anymore. So we'll go through each of these references. Task.imageTypes to download. This method is... This is still in download metadata and images. Interesting. I lost my spot here. There we are. This is Wikipedia. I see. Okay. That's why. Get our Wikipedia game. We run the thing. Image types. Do we do anything with the image types, though? That's what I'm looking for. Image types to download. Where is that? I'm not seeing that anywhere, so it doesn't. We don't appear to be restricting that here, which is interesting. All right, so that's covered. Number 3. This is what this in the same method, down a little ways. Task.image types to download. Same deal. Nothing to do there. Number 4. This is a different method. This is get game. Okay, this is the imports basically. And so the imports, I don't think we're doing anything with that anyways, since yeah, we're not restricting it. And this is a problem because, you know, if you have images that already exist on your drive and you import games again, it's just going to duplicate everything. So this was I didn't think through that very well. But basically, if you re-import your collection and you import and re-import images, it's not going to look and get rid of your existing images. It's just going to duplicate everything. So, you know, but we'll get that fixed, of course, in all of this. So that was number 4. We got 2 more. What is this here? This is... We're still in get game. Same deal. I don't think we got anything to do here. Image types to download. Okay, and then lastly, this is also in get game. It's the 3rd one. That's fine. Nothing to do there. Good. So that was no big deal. The next thing is we need to actually do the CRC checks. So let me catch up on comments again. Okay. Unlock it after enough approved submissions or with the limit, perhaps. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I think more likely what we're going to do is it's just going to have to run through somebody who approves it before. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to have to involve human interaction, whatever we do. I don't think we're going to use the moderation process for batch uploads because it's just, you know, it's just not going to work. It's too much. Stifilus, the answer is no. I have $1 trillion computer running on cold fusion at my space station. Can you implement a feature where I can navigate big box using the steering wheel for my car back on Earth? It's hilarious. 420 was last week. Moderators for each platform. That's not a bad idea. That would be a major change, but will we also be implementing a feature to call the already existing dupes? Yeah, call the... Yes, we will, Camel, of course. That makes sense, Omen, yep. Yeah, it's not a good idea to start over for no reason. Really, it really isn't. Although, you know, the replace... honestly, we're going to be trusting users based on word of mouth more than anything else. Or, I mean, basically, what we'll do is we'll have a series of people. What we'll likely do is we'll have a series of people, myself included, who can review the media and decide whether it's a good idea to batch upload it manually. We're just going to do that, and then only a certain number of people will have access to the actual tool. That's what we'll end up doing. And I don't know, I haven't defined anything more than that. But this tool is not going to be available to anybody but a set number of people. And all the uploads will have to go through those people, is what we'll end up doing. You'll hand the uploads over to those people, and those people will determine whether it's a good idea to upload it. I don't think it's a good idea to make it entirely community driven for the batch uploads. It's just going to be a problem. Cool. Yeah, we'll get there. I don't, before we even get there though, I need to build the tool, and then I need to test the tool, all that stuff, and figure out whether it's we're a long ways off from that, but we'll get there. Yeah, human interaction, exactly. All right, so now we have our image type. So when we populate the downloads, we have our game, that search result game, we have our LaunchBox game. So we basically need to, well, it's going to all be in populate downloads. That's where it matters. Go through the Steam banners. We do the same thing we always do for the Steam banners. Although we do need to check to make sure we don't have a replace in here, which we need. We need a bool replace. Well, but if we were replacing, then they should already be deleted. So I don't even need to worry about that. Because if we are replacing, then they're gone. So ultimately, we got to check. I'm just thinking of the Steam banner thing here. We're only going to download the Steam banner if one doesn't already exist. And string.isNull or empty LaunchBox game dot get we want Steam banner. Box game dot get image file paths image types dot Steam banner. And we don't want string.isNull or empty. That's not a thing for this. Get image file paths is returning a... Yeah, I know. I don't care about the error. Dot length equals 0. Okay. I want to know if we're ever returning null, though. Apparently not. Nope, good. Okay, so this makes sure we're not going to download the Steam banner unless one just doesn't already exist. And in the case where we're replacing, one won't exist because the files will already have been deleted. So that's taken care of. Moving on. There are no CRC checks for the Steam banners because we just don't have them. So forget that. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to concern myself with that right now. Local DB game, Wikipedia game. We get our local DB images. And we just go through for each them all. The next thing we need, we're finally into the actual CRC checks. Basically, we have to get all of the game image CRCs for a particular image type. Get the list. So we need to add a method for that. So let's go do that. It's going to be under game. Get all image paths. Where is this? Get image file paths for an image type and use cache. So basically what we need to do is get a list of CRCs for a particular image type, and we are going to need to cache it because we don't want to be calling this constantly. But I think I might cache it in the image downloader method. I'm not sure. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So for now, let's add a method called public. It's going to be a collection of uint type, because uint is the type of the hash. Get image checksums for a particular image type. And the first thing we do is we call, we're going to say var paths equals this dot get image file paths image type. And then basically we get the CRCs for all the paths. Nothing to it. It's pretty simple. Let me catch up on some comments here. Take it easy, 00. No, I'm fine without a mass upload tool. Neil, that's hilarious. Yeah. That's funny. How do I display the numbers of games on the left in the LaunchBox? Divine, that is under Tools, Options, General Sidebar, I believe, in LaunchBox. Get image checksum. So we have our paths. Basically, I just need a new list. Var checksums equals new list of uint. And for each, well, we can do this with link, but I'll probably end up doing that. For each string path in paths, checksums.add new. No, we need crc32 dot compute. Oh yeah, I added a method to handle this for me. Where did I put that though? Well, I mean, no big deal. This is easy to do though. All I need to do is get image file paths. Is that returning full paths? It should. So we're going to say file.readAllBytes path. That's all we really need to do. And then we're going to return checksums. But I can simplify this a little bit with link. That does it. That's all we need for the most part, other than the caching. But the caching, I think I'm going to put in the actual image downloader class. We need a dictionary. We're going through. I'm going to create a var crcs equals new dictionary of string and I collection of uint. Now, for each var image in localDB images, if not crcs.contains key image.type, then crcs.add image.type no, and then we need LaunchBox game dot get image checksums for image.type. Okay, so it only does that once per game, despite the fact that it's looping through all the local DB images. And then what we can say is if crcs image.type dot contains, I should probably be using a list here instead of the iCollection. Whatever. If it contains the database CRC, so the database CRC is image.crc32, then we continue and we don't download it. That simple. And in theory, that should handle Is that it? It might be. This handles the case of the image downloader.run. We also have the download EMU movie stuff though, which I need to handle separately in a similar way. Wikipedia game down here though, we need to do the same thing. There's only one type of... The thing is, Wikipedia I don't have a CRC for. So right now it's basically... We do need to change this to make sure that it only does it if there is no box front. So we're already doing that right here. Okay. So that's already handled. So from Wikipedia, unfortunately, we're not going to have this functionality, but we will have it from the LaunchBox Games database and from um, Emu Movies. All right. So this should be taken care of. The only thing now is we have one other spot, the download Emu Movies I need to look at. But let me do a um, well, I just caught Pac-Man's comment. Are you still doing a file size check before doing a CRC check to speed things up? And one thing I didn't think about is we don't have file size checks. We don't have file sizes listed on the local games database or on the LaunchBox Games database. Nor do we have file sizes listed on Emu Movies. So although we discussed that on Monday, it's only going to work if I have file sizes listed on LaunchBox Games database and Emu Movies. Now I could add them to the LaunchBox Games database, but I can't add them to Emu Movies. So for that reason, that's not going to work in every case, and I'm just going to ignore that for now. But anyways, let me catch up on comments here. Emu Movies have a system where it checks bids before adding to its database. What if there's a system where we just upload images to Emu Movies? Emu Movies system is manual, Pizza Boy, I think. But yeah, you can upload your media to Emu Movies, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Although I think the Emu Movies process is literally just Circo reviewing everything. That's what it is. That's why it's a full-time job for him, you know. That's one of the reasons why it's a full-time job for him. And on top of like building all the videos. But no, they don't have an automated system of any kind to do that, I don't think, although I could be wrong. Me too, Neil K. I don't like the lambda syntax at all. Except, I don't even know if I'm using the right terminology. I hate it too, actually. The query syntax is awful. I never liked that. And when I first found out about LINQ, of course, they demonstrated it with the query syntax, and I turned my nose up at it and didn't use it for years because that syntax is so horrible. I mean, it's SQL. You can't use SQL in code. It's just ugly. They're not hex strings. They're basically just integers, Neil. Yeah, it's better. It's better not to use Wikipedia. It really is. Could I check the file sizes via FTP or API? That would only just slow things down more. Yes, we could do FTP is not a good idea. FTP is a really poor solution for all of this stuff. But the API, yeah, we could add the file size to the API or the LaunchBox Games database. But again, Emu Movies doesn't support it. It's just not worth it. If we have like major performance issues, then I'll look into some of this stuff. But I'm pretty sure we won't. This stuff is not run during regular use of LaunchBox. It's only run during the import operations and the upload operations. And by eliminating the downloads, it's already going to be a million times faster. So I think we'll be okay. Yeah, FTP is just a really crappy solution, period. And there's better, I mean, it's slow too. That's the biggest problem with FTP. So it's not going to be a a good thing. And we're not using FTP anywhere else, so I'm not going to add it, Honestly, we don't need it though, guys. We'll be fine. I'm I'm almost 100% sure we won't need it. But we'll review. If we do, we'll come up with something. All right. So, anyways, we have one more spot to look into before we can start testing this, which is exciting. Working control.download emu movies is the other spot. And there's actually two of these methods, I believe. One of them calls the image downloader.run, which is the top method, which is not handled. And the other one calls this image downloader.run. Oh, they both call the same one. Okay. So in the case, so basically the logic here needs changed in both of these methods. We go through all the emu movies results. We got emu movies media types. Manual, music, video, video theme, all that stuff. So the only thing we're concerning ourselves with are the images. And we're going to need to copy some of the same logic here. We have the LaunchBox game right there. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to copy this because we're going to need that. Oops. And going to need this block. Actually, we're in here because this is the only part that matters. Okay, and the image type. Result at media type dot image type. If not CRCs dot contains key result dot media type dot image type, then we add the image type and we get the checksums for that image type. Now I want to check to make sure it is the right image type I'm dealing with here. Image types, good. Yep. All right. So that makes sure CRCs is populated. Then looking at this again. You gotta do something like that. CRCs result dot media type dot image type dot contains. Now we need the CRC32 of the emu movies result, and I don't think that's necessarily fed over, although it might be. Let's see. Result CRC, look at that. Now, is that CRC32? I hope so. We'll find out, I guess. If not, we're going to have to come up with a different method. And the other thing is, it's a string. So uint crc. So we're probably going to have to do a conversion here. Because I don't know what format that is, and we're going to have to figure it out. Gonna have to put in a breakpoint. It's probably a hex string, I'm thinking. So it's gonna have to change. Crap. So let's go ahead and comment this out. We gotta look at what that is. I'm gonna put a breakpoint there. And there's two spots where this is done. I guess we'll wait to copy it over to the other one though. Let's go ahead and build. Cool. So we're built. We're going to debug this and have to download some eMovie stuff and see what the results look like because I'm not sure. Oops, crap. I'm starting up big box. I wanted LaunchBox. Oh, whale. Wait a second here. I've gotten into Rubik's Cubes lately. I've been tweaking the version numbers to test the updates, so that's why it's prompting me for an update in my development environment here. I should probably fix that so I don't forget about it, actually. Change this to LaunchBox. Give it a run. Whoa! Oh, I know why it's doing that. So this is the automatic updater. I've been playing with this, and this is going to be a problem. I'm going to have to fix this here. Ultimately, LaunchBox will now, if there's an update waiting to install in your LaunchBox folder, it will run it before it runs LaunchBox or Big Box. I need to ultimately, well, I should just fix the version number is what I should do to be correct. Because right now this is an old version. This is the official release that we just ran. So I need to go into my version information, and we need to see. I've got it set to 7.8 right now, so I can test the updates. We need to make it 7.10 beta 1. And we're going to do a rebuild. Startup videos are on the list, Slipstream, on the poll. Okay, give it a run. There we go. Yeah, the my biggest issue with the Rubik's cubes is memorizing the algorithms. Like I can solve them relatively easy with an algorithm in front of me, but like I wanted to try and figure out how to solve the Rubik's cube like literally without algorithms, so I could truly understand it in my mind, but without knowing any algorithms, be able to solve it with as few steps as possible. But that honestly is super hard. It's not easy to do, and I need more practice before I'm going to be able to get there. But I have all the algorithms memorized up to the point where I can get the bottom or the top two layers good, and then I have half of the algorithms memorized beyond that. But memorization's hard for me, so it's really pushing me a little bit. But anyways, it's been fun though. I'm enjoying it. We need to run an import process. So let's go. Let's see. Just do a few games here. That's Atari 2600. Let's go download metadata and media. I'm not going to download anything from the LaunchBox games database for right now. We're going to just do Emu Movie so that I can get that breakpoint hit so I can figure out what they're using for the CRC. I don't want any videos. Next, we're going to say yes, but do not replace. And it's going to take a second here. How fast can I solve it? I have never timed myself. But remember, like, I've only been doing it for like a week. And I've only done it a few times a day, tops. So really, I'm just a newbie when it comes to Rubik's Cubes. So, no, I haven't timed myself. I know I actually had a 2x2 Rubik's Cube that I started with, and I was able to solve that in like 45 seconds. But a 2x2 is nowhere near as hard or as lengthy as the 3x3. So I haven't started timing myself on the 3x3 yet because I haven't memorized it to the point where I can do it without algorithms. There's no if you until you can do it without algorithms, timing it is just without looking up algorithms. It's pointless to time yourself. You know what I mean? So. The acid drop subliminal message in the corner. What are you talking about, Doss? It's funny. I don't get it. Yeah, I will challenge myself. I'll get there, pure luck, but I just started with it, so That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome, Peerluck. Yeah, you've mastered it then. That's cool. On your initial screen, the Atari game. Oh, haha. Yeah, I gotcha. That's funny. All right. Darn it. So it didn't hit my breakpoint, which means I am. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm running. What's going on here? Why is it not hitting this method? Is this method used? I'm guessing this method is used only. Oh, I see. Let's prioritize. Prioritize. Oh, this is only used when we prioritize EMI movies, and EMI movies has not been prioritized. Although I can prioritize EMI movies. Let's do that. Okay. We want the EMI movie stuff, but I don't want videos for now. Do not replace. Wait a minute. Prioritize. That's what I need. There we go. Come on, guy. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, and I have no desire to be the best in the world, when it comes to the Rubik's Cube. But I mean, I'm never going to be that competitive about it. But I just enjoy solving it. But I probably will try and improve my time, knowing me, when I get there. I'm in debug mode. Yep. It's still not getting there. Why not? Come on, you crappy thing. What the heck? Is it getting there? That's the question. Next question. Nope. Darn it. Fine. I think it must be using this method. That's all I can figure. I'm not going to look at it in too much detail. Just got to look at the results. That's all we need. So let's put that breakpoint in there and try it this way. I didn't check prioritize, did I? Or maybe I did. I don't know. Whatever. Here we go. Finally. Okay, so in this result, immediate window, result.crc. So it's a short hex string. I'm guessing it's probably CRC32 in hex string format. But I don't know how I'm going to tell that, honestly, without trying it. It is titled CRC, so you would think it would be MD5. It would be titled MD5 if it was an MD5. So I'm guessing it's got to be either CRC16 or CRC32. But I guess we'll find out. So I need to convert that hex string into a uint. I've never done that before, believe it or not. So hey, game room. So I assume everything's back up with the stream, guys. Any issues? I'm not getting any drop frames, so I don't know. I think Restream.io. I wonder, like, if it would be more stable if I paid for the premium thing. It's pretty cheap. It's not that expensive. But all I can figure is it's Restream, since we didn't really have those issues until we started using Restream. But whatever. Oh, thanks, Neil. Okay, convert.to uint32 hex 16. What is a 16? Probably try catch wrap that. That makes sense. Is there a try option? I don't know. Well, let's give that a shot. See what we get. We have, I know these images should already exist in my collection. Almost all of them. So it should be fairly easy to test, I would think. Good. Thanks, guys. I'm glad it's back up and running. Let's, we're going to say uint crc equals convert dot to uint 32. Wait a minute, was that the right one? Hex. So we got, I don't see that there at all. There's no string. All right. We need to search for C# hex to int. Really? Are you serious? There's no built-in method to do this? That can't be. All right. So this is saying I can use uint.parse the hex value, which is the result.crc system.globalization.number styles.hex number. All right. Is there a method to do that with try parse, I wonder? Yeah, there is. Result.crc number styles.hex number. Oh, come on. Hex number out crc, but that doesn't exist yet. Uint crc. Why is this? Come on. Oh, we need iFormat provider. What do I put in there? Note that your hex to int solution produce signed integers. Oh. That's not what I want. Yeah. All right, I'll check that, Neil. Convert.toUint32 result.crc 16. So what's the problem here? Yeah, it just wasn't showing up in IntelliSense, stupidly. Is that gonna work though? I mean, we'll find out. It is converting it to an unsigned int. Although this should be, I don't know. This should probably be 32, right? Because it's a CRC 32. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what that does. If crcs.contains crc, then continue. Now, the only other issue is that we're going to have to put this down in the second method because this is the method that's actually used. So let's copy stuff down before we can test it here. Here's our general image type. And we need this block and this, so we'll grab them both. I should have grabbed the whole thing, I think. And that's all I need, right? I think. All right, so let's put a breakpoint on this, although we should put this in a try catch at the same time. I wanted to see if there was a whatever. Let me catch up on comments here and see if yeah, if a try parse works, that's better, but I'm not sure it will. It doesn't seem like. Culture of a neutral out var, sure. Although, yeah, let's test this first. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of different options. There's signed, there's unsigned. The reason why I want to use this convert.to uint32 is because it specifically specifies that it's an unsigned integer. Because you can also convert hex to a signed integer. So let's just see if this works. I'm not going to bother adding the try catch and stuff yet. Let's just see if it works here first. Let me rebuild, and then we'll do a debug and see what we get. All right. So, what am I doing? We need to select a few. Let's go download metadata and media. Same thing here. Invalid base. So we're getting an error. That figures. Let's put in a breakpoint here to try some various things. All right. So we're going to try, we know convert.to uint32 result.crc32 gives us an error. I mistyped it apparently. There it is. What the heck? No, that's not what I want you to do. Are you kidding me? I don't know what's going on here with this. There we go. Now we have an exception, and this invalid base. What if it is it 16? Is that what's going on here? There it is. Yeah. Okay. But then interesting. So I don't expect that's going to match the stuff because we're using the 32 CRC 32 stuff. But let's check. Let's see. I'm going to need to skip this down. Let's we're going to take a look at CRCs. No, CRCs banner. Banner? Why is there only one? I guess there's only one for this game. But look, the number matches. The number matches! Yay! So what that means is we have our solution. It works. That's great. So what I'm going to do is we're going to stop this. We're going to change this to 16. Don't ask me why. Well, maybe, I don't know. You got me. If it works, it works. I hope. We'll see. We'll find out. Oh, good point, Neil. Sure, I mean, I've never gotten into the watch window, although I probably should. So we having stream issues again, guys? How's it going? I'm not getting any more drop frames, so if we are, it's going to be restream. Yeah, the number matches. So, I don't know, Neil. Your call. If one number matches, are they all going to match? That's the question. I don't know, but I assume we're good to go. Good to know, Neil 9000. Thank you. Let's go ahead and I guess it's time to test things in bulk. Oh, we needed to change this up here as well. Almost forgot about that. But I mean, in theory, this should be golden. It should work properly. That's it. I think. So if I go through and say all of 2600, Atari 2600, and I tell it to download metadata and media, it shouldn't really download very many images at all. It should only download the new stuff. So let's give it a shot and let's see what we get. Why not? Hi, Adu. I don't know. I don't know how to say your name, but hi, anyways. If I wasn't already married, I'd consider. Yeah, supersonic speed. Thank you. I got it at Target, believe it or not, and it was on like super discount. It was like $6, $7, something crazy like that, which is why I picked it up. I like Sonic, and my son loves Sonic, but you know, a Dow, a do. I'm still lost, but I'm sorry. All right, so let's go ahead and do all of 2600. Tools, download, metadata, and media. We'll go ahead and test them both. Yes, we want that. I'm going to go ahead and download everything from... I don't want the theme video, although it shouldn't download it anyways, since we already have it. I'm going to skip the Steam banner as well. And we'll go ahead and download everything from EU Movies, except I'm going to skip the videos again. Although it should skip them anyways, because I already have videos. Yes, but do not replace any existing fields or media. Finish. Let's see what happens. It's got to parse EMU Movies for all the media, so that's going to take a little bit here. But ultimately what we're looking for, what we're hoping is going to happen, is it won't download very much, because it should only download anything that's been added. It does look like it's downloading, though. Or maybe it's lying. I don't know. Question is it really adding images here? Or is it just parsing them? I would think it would be going quicker if it was just parsing them. So it doesn't look like it's working properly. Images, Atari 2600. Yeah, it looks like it's adding images here. Something isn't working right. 588. Yeah, it shouldn't be saying downloading file unless it's actually downloading the file. So yeah, I don't think something's working right here. Let's go ahead and see if we can catch what's happening. While it's going, let's attach to it. And let's go ahead and put a breakpoint. I'm not seeing any Emu Movies image downloads though. So it seems like Emu Movies is working and that it's only the LaunchBox one that's not. But you know what? I'm going to put a breakpoint on the Emu Movie stuff and we'll see if we can catch that. This is the wrong one though. We got to go down here. Here we are. Oh yeah, whatever. Interesting. Wait a minute. This is... I'm not sure this is right here. This needs adjusted. This isn't correct. So I need to fix that. I know that for sure. Because it's looking for... Yeah. But it didn't... This didn't work for whatever reason. Huh. Unless we found a single image that actually didn't exist. Let's see. Oh, the other thing is we need try catch blocks on this stuff. So back to the code for a little bit here. Let's first off, this is broken. This is not only new. This check here is not valid. Why is only new? What is that doing? Emu Movies new only. What the heck is that about? Come on, really? Is that always true? What the heck? Here we go down another rabbit hole. But I gotta figure this out. I don't know what the heck is going on with this Emu Movies new only, what the point of it is. There's only one reference to this download metadata task. And it's feeding in true. Yeah, true. It's always true. So I guess it can be ignored. Interesting. It's a pointless guy there. So let's get rid of it. Emu movies new only. All right. There's only 2 of them. This is the only place it's used. We're going to just, well, first off, let's go down here and get rid of that. And then also up here, get rid of this. Since it's not used. Okay, and the concept here is really, we only want to skip it. Basically, this is never happening because it was always true, so it's never false. And we're not doing that check anymore, so we can just eliminate that whole if block and just do that. And then moving on down, same thing in this one. And then what do we got in these? Sure, this method, we need to get rid of that. Perfect. And then down here, same deal. Yeah. All right. Now, hopefully we build. Okay, so that's solved. Now we can go back. And we need to handle the try catch issue here for both of these. So we need uint crc. We're going to do a try on this. Catch. I'm just going to catch everything because there's 4 exceptions to catch, whatever. And if that fails, we're going to skip this check and just do it, I guess. Just add it if there is no CRC. Put this in here. Oh, well then we need this line as well, of course. Fine then. So that works. And I'm gonna copy this block and also do the same thing up here. All right. Well, we still had something that wasn't working elsewhere that I've still got to dive into, but I ran into that which wasn't working properly, so we got to test this out now and figure out what's going on with this. But let's catch up on some comments here. You guys have been going nuts on comments. Like I'm pretty far behind. Let's see. Sonic 3 on NT 4.0. That's hilarious. Hey, Matic. Hey, Dr. Bad Vibes. British Bacon. We're doing well over here. Can't see any chats in the chat pane anymore. Huh. SDK for the Sega Mega Drive. That's cool. Huh. Take it easy, Neil. All right. So, let's get this going. We got to get this going before the stream ends in a half hour. Let's see. Did I build? I don't know. Oh, crap. Well, I got LaunchBox running. And it just downloaded a bunch of extra crap. Dang it. Oh, well. We're going to rebuild. I'm out of coffee. We're built. Do a debug run. And we're just going to do a few of them again this time. Here we go again. Download metadata and media. Actually, I should do more than 3 just in case. Let's do those. We're not going to download anything from the LaunchBox Games database yet. We're only going to do EMU movies. I'm going to get rid of the videos. Should have gotten rid of the manuals and stuff too. And music. It shouldn't re-download those if it already exists though. Do not replace. Finish. Searching for media. Uh-oh. Come on. Do I have my breakpoint in the wrong spot? Yep. Okay. So, let's check CRCs here first. CRC's banner is what it's on. There's one, and there it is. Now, should put CRC matches. So we do in fact continue. What I want to see is if we ever get here or here, because this is the expected result. So we'll let this run through. And we do, and we shouldn't be. Why are we getting there? That's the question. So what do we got? CRCs, there's 4 types. Banner, box, front, box, back, and cart for this particular game. What is the CRC? And we want CRC's banner. That doesn't match. CRC's, or what image type are we on? Cart front. There's 2 of them. And interestingly, neither of them match. What the heck? Why is that? Because it should have already downloaded all these. No, it didn't. It didn't. This is expected, I think. Actually. So let's go ahead and it's a different image. And I know why, because it wasn't downloading the different images before because the code was screwed up. So in theory, it does seem to be skipping a bunch of them. Well, let's go ahead and just run it. Although it seemed like it maybe downloaded too many. But now we know we have them all downloaded already. So it shouldn't re-download anything at this point. So I'm going to put my breakpoints back in here. And they shouldn't be hit. If we run that whole process again for these 14 games, it shouldn't be hit at all. No, we want to... And manual and music we're going to get rid of. What do we got here? Here we go. It's still getting hit. Why? So we're on box front. I'm in my box front folder for Atari 2600. My CRC is valid. But my list only has one image and it's not the same CRC. So let's check out the image for this. If I can figure out what the name of it is here. The game title is 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. Here's the image. Let's go ahead and let it run and see if it downloads the same exact image. It has to. It has to be the same exact image. Although it's looking like it's skipping it, but that doesn't make sense. No, well, it's not downloading them yet. Maybe. Doesn't look like it's downloading a duplicate image. What's going on here? Where is it ending up? Am I going insane? Is it overwriting this image? Where's my date modified? Yeah, that's... doesn't seem to be doing anything with that image. What the heck? We got our download URL. Let's just go check that URL. This is what I get with that URL. Well, I'm on a different one. Darn it, because I ran it again. Crap. Okay. Well, now... this is our image. This is obviously a cart. Image type is cart front. Let's check our CRC. Let's check CRC's cart front. It's a different CRC. It's 331-921-0330. And on the game, if I'm game.get image file paths cart front. So this is my only image right now for this. Images Atari 2600 cart front Europe acid drop -01. This is the guy, and I expect it's the same exact image, so something weird is going on and I can't figure out what it is. But clearly it's not working because I already downloaded this image. And if I get the CRC32 for that image, we get that value. So I've got the right value, the expected value, but it differs from the CRC that EMU Movies is giving me. Why does it differ from the CRC that EMU Movies is giving me? Why would it be that sometimes they match and sometimes they don't? And is that the actual issue? I was kind of afraid of that. Is it because it's a CRC 16 instead of a CRC 32? That would be my only guess. Let's go back to the comments here and see what I might be missing out on. Now my quarters go to their education. Ah, I'm jealous, Matic. I wish I had a fresh mug of coffee right now. I'm gonna do that as soon as I get done with the stream. CRCs and Rubik's cubes. I'm guessing, yeah, I don't know. Neil K, where are you when I need you, man? I assume it has to be because it's a CRC 16 instead of a CRC 32. That's my best guess. And so some of them are going to match and others aren't. That's all I can figure as far as what might be going on here. So what I'm going to do, I think for now, is working on work APIs. No worries, Neil. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense that it would be because we're cross-referencing CRC 32 versus CRC 16? The size of the text string should tell you what type of CRC it is. Well, all right, it's 8 characters. Knowing hex, I don't know how to do that math. I don't know. What does that tell us? 8 characters, Neil. Is that a CRC 16 or a CRC 32? It looks like it's a CRC 16, but maybe not. Actually, CRC 32 should be 8 characters. So it is a CRC 32. But it's not working. Why? Doesn't make sense. It's entirely possible that the EMU Movies CRCs are wrong, and if that's the case, we're screwed, you know? Nothing we can do about that. But well, crap. They do somewhere. I'm going to have to look them up, though. I don't have them at hand. Basically, I'm going to have to talk to Circo and Tom, his developer. So what I'm going to do for now is we'll move on from the EMU movie stuff, and we're going to test the LaunchBox stuff, LaunchBox Games Database stuff, because I don't think that was working either. And we need to make sure that's working properly. So let's figure that out next. And that is basically happening in here. So let's put a breakpoint in here and give it a test. Should have left it running. I didn't need to close it. All right. Let's go. Nope, we want all this stuff. Except I don't want the theme video. We don't want any EMU movies for now. Excuse me. All right, do your thing. Okay. So we got to populate the CRCs. So I don't want the breakpoint there. I want it there. CRC 32. Okay, it is properly skipping it in that case. We want to put a breakpoint in that spot. So it skipped 1. What's it not skipping here? This is image.type. This is a box front image for 3D tic-tac-toe, which should have been downloaded by now. What is our CRC? So CRC's box front. There's only one in there. And clearly it's different than what I've got. Why? I've got the same issue here, so something is wrong in my logic or something. This is weird. Either I'm missing images or I don't know what's going on, man. Because if I've got the same issue with my LaunchBox Games database stuff, then I know it's got to be my code here somehow that's wrong. Because I'm using the exact same code to calculate the CRCs uh, for the LaunchBox Games database. So at that point, it's not the CRC algorithm or anything like that. It's that my code is messed up. If we were losing a byte or something, then you would think they would all be messed up. I don't know. But no, I'm using the exact same method to calculate these CRCs. So for that reason, it has to be something weird. It's only happening on a few images, though. Oddly. If we edit this game, the other weird thing is it's not re-downloading the images. What the heck? It's not duplicating them at all. I'm going nuts here. What are we getting for the get destination file? Alright, so same deal. This is the same file. It's not matching. It's 3D tic-tac-toe. Now, I want to know what the results are from this call. And if it's pointing to the same image. Oh, you see how it's 3D tic-tac-toe -03? This is under front. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why is it under front instead of box front? First off, that's not right. That explains why I have some image folder issues here, apparently. Yeah, and here are all the duplicates. And yet, this is weird. It's downloading to one folder and using a different folder. Somehow I've managed to discover a bug that's completely unrelated. So that explains it. But why is it doing that? If I go to Manage Platforms for Atari 2600, my box front folder is incorrect. But the weird thing about this is it's not picking up the images from this folder. It's clearly an image folder issue. But I've only got one of these images in here. 32 in one game cartridge. What the heck? That's not the right game. Oh, I'm on 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. Stupid idiot. 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. The dupes are in here, it looks like. Yeah. All the dupes are in here. I was just being dumb. Box front, box back. Maybe they're not, though. I only care about box front. The dupes aren't in here. There are no box front duplicates for 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. And the box front is actually different than the box front that is showing up in this front folder. So if we look at the front folder over here, it's this guy, which is a different image than what shows up. So what that tells me, believe it or not, is we have an image folder bug in here somewhere where it's saving it to this folder and yet somehow loading it from this folder. I have no idea how that happened. But then at the same time, why is that using that image? Man, what the heck? Where's this image coming from? All right, guys. Well, so clearly, so I think what's happening is the checksum stuff is working, but I have some image path issues somehow or other that I've got to get figured out. So I'll be working on that next. And I'm hoping, I mean, I haven't put out a beta in too long now, so I'm hoping to put out a beta tonight, assuming I can get this fixed, or late this afternoon, with the duplicate image prevention for imports and downloads and all that stuff. And we'll have to wait on the adding another thing to remove all the duplicates. We'll wait on that probably for another beta, because I'm probably not going to get that in there today. Maybe I will, I don't know. But clearly, I gotta figure out what the heck is going on with my image folders here and why it's pulling different images than what it's downloading. That's the problem. And I don't know why that's the case. But we'll figure that out. I've thought about, is it a regional image? Yeah, and I think it might be, but I don't know. They still should be the same images. And if they're not the same images, then we got a problem in here somewhere. But I'm going to dive into it. I'll get it figured out. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to catch up on comments here first, and then we'll go ahead and end the stream. I like to end the stream on a positive note, but I guess I can't do that all the time. It's clear though that I'm using different images in both cases. We already have a backup feature. Well, all right, I get you. No, people weren't going to lose their media stiffless. No, I don't have any of the. Well, maybe, I don't know. Did I refresh? That is, well, no. The cache doesn't apply for when you load up the edit window. It only applies for this. Anyways, guys, I'll keep I'm gonna get some coffee first, and then I'll dive back into this and see what the heck is going on with my image folders, and see what the problem might be. Obviously, I found a bug here that's kind of obscure, somehow or other. Not obscure. I don't know, but something's wrong. So I'll look into that and we'll get it fixed. And hopefully, I can have a beta out today with the automatic or background update features, and then also the beginnings of the duplicate image prevention, and we'll go from there. So take it easy, everybody, and I'll see you guys all on Monday at 9:30 a.m. PST, of course. And yep. Take it easy, folks.